Hi, I'm Andrew Potter, and this is my EDL 853 Module 3. I interviewed three people at my school. I interviewed my principal, Miss Workman. This is her 7th year in administration. She was an instructional coach for 5 years and did kindergarten for most of her career. I also interviewed our special ed teacher, Miss Hoffaber. This is her 23rd year of teaching. She has a Bachelor's of Science in Special Education, and then a Education Master in Elementary Education. And then I also interviewed our para, or one of our paras, Miss Medina. This is our 4th year as a special education para in the high school and also at the elementary level. A few ways that we find students who are in need of special education is, first of all, at the beginning when they enroll in school as a young child. There's the Russell's Childhood Development that they're able to take. That is something that is open to the public and is offered many times throughout the year to anybody that is interested in having their child do that. And then they start off in our Bright Start preschool program. Ms. Hoffaber mentioned that there's the Kindergarten Roundup, which is a class that is for parents and students who are joining school to kind of learn how school works. And Miss Medina, she said she didn't know how what the process is. So that would be for pre-enrollment process. Internally in the classroom, at my level, I'm the 5th grade teacher. A lot of times what happens is if we have a student who is starting to show signs of that, we have our tier intervention levels. And then we take the MAP test, and we use that data to analyze if the child should go further into the testing of special ed. If they're consistently showing that they're having troubles, then what we do is we go through having a meeting, address it with the special ed. We talk about the Tier 2 services they're receiving, and then go talk with them through an interview process with the special education teacher, and some more testing occurs, and that's how we do it at the higher grades. I asked the three of them, what is the most challenging role in special education? Both Miss Workman and Miss Hoffaber talked about the paperwork, about all the paperwork that is having to go on by the mandates. And also Miss Workman kind of talked about, like in our Module 2, from Miss Parker's research, the laws are a big part on her that she's had to learn, and the regulations. And one thing that helps in our district is we have a pretty large district, so we actually have a special ed coordinator that keeps up on all of those laws that change, the regulations that change, and they have meetings regularly on discussing any of those changes that may occur. And Ms. Hoffaber, dealing with them more on a one-on-one basis in her classroom, she said that the students who have the lower mental health capacity, just them learning the extreme behaviors that may occur. They sometimes don't have that internal self-control to help them regulate those type of behaviors. And Miss Medina, as a para, she just said the learning every student, all the different students that she has to interact with throughout the day. The most rewarding part of their job, again, all three of them kind of had similar thoughts on the growth that occurs. I think that's just as a education or educator in general. We all are proud of the growth that occurs. We really like to reward that to them. We really like to show them the hard work, and in special ed, that is something that they really take pride in. Ms. Hoffberg said they like to celebrate within their department because it really is the team that is helping that success occur. It's not just one person that is really causing that to happen. So rewarding those accomplishments. And Miss Medina also talked about how she likes how her peers, us as teachers, thank her and appreciate her for the services that she does, because she does do a lot of the down and dirty work with a lot of those students in the classrooms and throughout the day. Advice they have on supervision of special education staff. Ms. Workman believes that you treat them exactly like you would the rest of your staff. They are part of the staff. They are teachers. They are professionals. So treat them the same as you would any other gen ed teacher or specials teacher. You need to set the expectations and then monitor them and make sure that those expectations are being accomplished, just like you would with us as we get our walkthroughs that we have, our evaluations that we have to do as well. And Ms. Hoffenberg also, again, piggybacked off what Ms. Workman said and said the treatment of them being the same. I know that one thing that we do is, as we go through this redesign process at our school, we're in teams, and we want the thoughts and opinions from everybody. Special education, specials teachers. We even have a lot of the paras that are on the teams as well. And we really are trying to make this a team conscientious effort to improve our schools. Miss Medina thought that she, not to dive right into everything, get that guidance from the classroom teacher, the gen ed teacher, or the special education, or her fellow peers coming down from the high school to the elementary. She's had to make those type of adjustments where you're having to maybe be a little bit more direct with those type of students, a little more supportive with them, whereas at the high school level you can kind of allow those students to control the situations a little bit more. How do they work effectively with special education parents? Ms. Workman, our principal, is very supportive on us trying to communicate with parents, and she has those same expectations with the special education teachers as well. Any parent loves to hear great things about their child or what's happening in school. Those parents are also very invested in their children and their education. So she believes having communication with them as well. She also talked about being very clear very clear on the paperwork during the IEPs, making sure there's strong understandings on all parties that are involved in the IEPs, the parents, the support staff, the gen ed teachers, all of them understanding what is going on with the IEPs. And sometimes we actually, during these IEPs, we have the high Hispanic population, so we actually have to have translators in these IEP meetings as well. So there's that big trust aspect that stuff is being translated accurately, and parents are understanding what is occurring with the language barrier that can happen. Ms. Hofferberg states that the paras, and Ms. Medina backed this up, They can't really communicate with the parents. They can't go and initiate any type of communication with the parents like us general education teachers. And I think that's kind of for legality purposes, just confidentiality issues as well. How do they work with regular education teachers with special education students? We get, as a gen ed teacher, we get a snapshot of every student that is in our class that will end up getting special education services. It kind of tells us what the issues or the services, what is causing them to have those type of services, and then what type of services they'll be receiving as well. Ms. Hoffberg talks about how the paras provide support to the gen ed teachers and communicate about any issues that are occurring. I know in my classroom, the students are expected to treat those paras like they are a teacher, like that is their classroom or their small group setting, and know that what they're saying, I'm supporting that para in my classroom as well. And then Miss Medina talks about how they get the classroom guide to show them where to be at, what class, what students they're working with. Roles of special education and building leaders. Ms. Workman believes that we all need to work together. Admin needs to be in all the IEP meetings. I know that with the many IEP meetings I've been in, there's always an admin in there that is signing the paperwork at the end that we have to sign, asking questions, being actively engaged in the conversations that we're having as well. Ms. Hoffenberg says that the special education teachers facilitate the meetings. They are the ones who are usually typically leading the meetings, talking about the services that those students are getting, and what is happening in the classroom. They also create the schedules of when those students are getting pulled throughout the day, how the paras are being used as well. And Miss Medina just stated how she believes we all need to work as a team and really work to help each other when needed. Characteristics. What characteristics do they seek in aspiring administrators with regards to special education? Ms. Workman talked about how you need to understand the importance of building relationships with the staff and the students. It's just that team mentality. We're all in it for the greater good of the students. We all want to see them succeed, and we all want to help be in that success. So we need to really keep them involved in the inclusion classrooms as much as possible, and just looking for the greater good. Ms. Hoffberg talked about how she had principals in her time who have been very micromanaging. She doesn't agree with that and doesn't believe that is an effective way to lead the school. And I would agree with her. You need to trust and believe in your staff that they are doing the right thing, and be respectful to all. Thank you for watching.